This latest episode had so many innuendos. Meri was completely clueless once again, and she had me screaming at the television. Janelle was being very caring, like just being basically Christine's sister, meeting David for the first time. And Robyn was, as always, being her usual manipulative self. And believe it or not, there was someone this episode that cried even more than Robyn. And the award goes to the Codester. He was blubbering, he was sentimental, he was a fool, and we're going to go over that in a second. But first, let's just discuss Janelle meeting David. I have a few things that we got to talk about. They obviously hit it off like very much in the beginning. It was really nice to see. It was very pleasant. I love when basically when Christine introduced Janelle as, hey, this is my sister wife, David got super confused and he was like, what does that mean? Because I'm not having another wife, which I feel like is the perfect response. And it just shows that that's why him and Christine deserve to be together. So that was very sweet. Janelle seemed to give her thumbs of approval and everything went swimmingly well. And it was very interesting how Christine was giving a list of basically everything that she wanted in a man, which was opposite of Kody. And probably one of my favorite parts was Christine was basically saying that David comes with no expectations, that he's very easygoing. And Janelle kind of snickered at that. And I think the meaning behind that was more so David's not a pain in the ass like Kody is, demanding everything needs to be a particular way. David is just carefree. So I hope that you guys picked up on that. I picked up on that. And now this was the crazy part, was Kody helped Meri pack and move for the final and last time before Meri made her final move from Arizona into her Airbnb in Utah. So Kody, he was hoping that that was going to be a good gesture and that he was helping Meri to move on. And it's very important to note, because it's going to matter later on, he lets us all know that he's very good with Meri moving on. Very good with it. So let's go to this moving day, okay? Meri jokes that it's actually the day that they move in would have been their 33rd wedding anniversary. And Kody wonders in his confessional if Meri planned that date intentionally. Meri claims that she didn't. She says it was all coincidence, but maybe it was the karma gods just saying, yes, you guys need to end this and you need to end it now. And there was this really awkward part when they were moving. Meri was moving an exercise bike and her brother-in-law, who's also Kody's best friend, was holding one end of the bike. Meri was holding the other. And so they're moving up this ramp onto the moving truck. And what we didn't know is that as Meri's backing into the moving truck, she backs slowly into the moving truck, and without realizing it, she's bumping directly into, kind of grinding into, let's just say, little Kody. And so then she's kind of stuck there and they stay there for a while. It's super awkward. He's laughing, she's laughing. And I could tell, I don't know, I mean, to me, this laugh was forced. She's laughing hysterically, but it seemed like, even though the footage was only for like 2 minutes, it seemed like she had been there for like 20 minutes laughing. And it was really awkward. It seemed like it was almost forced, like she was actually embarrassed, but just masking it with laughter. That's what it seemed like to me. And so let me just describe what Kody said. This is in his words. He said, Meri's bent over in front of me, right against me. That's exactly what happened. Meri said that it was closer than she had been to him in years, which was sad and like gross all at once. And then I think the really interesting part is Kody was basically saying how he felt violated, and which is interesting. And he gave us a little nugget of information. He said that, and these are the quotes, that he hasn't been like that. Well, that things between Meri and him haven't been like that for 8 or 9 years. So I think part of him being uncomfortable was he's 100% monogamous with Robyn now, and he felt that it was inappropriate. So he was like, yeah, it's really funny, but it's so wrong. So you could tell he was almost offended by what had happened. And of course, Meri was making off-color jokes kind of saying that now she is a favorite wife, but she's the favorite ex-wife. So she seems to have some pride in that. There's like some type of competitive edge with her. Yes, she's joking, but all jokes are based in the truth, and you can't tell me otherwise. So here's the thing. So as they're awkwardly laughing about the whole sex joke and sex position thing, guess who comes to ruin the mood, as always, ruin the fun? So Robyn comes in moping, basically, and just completely drags down the mood, okay, with laughter, and now it's like the Grim Reaper has showed up. She pulls Meri aside, because of course she can't have a conversation there. She pulls Meri aside. I think they go back into her house, and Robyn immediately starts crying, saying how, why are you leaving me? Don't leave. She's not happy about it, but she does give her a parting gift. Okay, and Meri is very stone-faced here, which we're going to discuss in a second, because I have a theory about that. So yes, she's, amenable, but she's not going out of her way to comfort Robyn like she has in the past. It's standoffish, but it's still accepting, right? So what's interesting is Christine said in her confessional that Robyn has been manipulating Meri for many years. Then we cut to Robyn, because obviously the producers told her what Christine said, and Robyn had a retort to that. Initially, when Robyn was doing the confessional, talking about the meeting with Meri, you could tell that that was more in the past, because the cut to the new couch confessional with Robyn, she looks completely different. So you could tell that that is the more recent couch confessional. And obviously the producers have told her what Christine said about her, and she had a retort, basically saying, Christine doesn't know much about my relationship with Meri, so she wouldn't know, and she shouldn't comment on it. But I think Christine is onto something, which we're going to discuss in a second. But for now, okay, so Robyn gives Meri a gift, and I've never seen this before. Robyn opened up Meri's gift for her. Like, who does that? That was weird. And so Meri let her do it, and it basically was like this journal book that she could create her own dreams and new goals in. So, I mean, I get the gesture, but still. And Robyn was crying again, of course. And Meri said, listen, in her confessional, yes, she's very emotional, but she doesn't want to go there. She doesn't want to be emotional. She said that she had a lot of emotions going through the past decade, 4 years living in Flagstaff, and the past year. And she kept her emotions guarded. And she said, quote, I only share them with the people that I'm comfortable with. So what does that mean? She's not comfortable with sharing her emotions with Robyn, AKA she doesn't trust her. Well, why wouldn't you trust someone? Wouldn't that also have to do with maybe you don't believe that person's being honest? Maybe that person is being a little bit manipulative? Let's just go really quick. I want to see, what is the definition of manipulative? Let's just see. Let's see how spot on Christine is with us. Interesting. Okay, manipulation means pressuring others, sometimes in sneaky ways, to get what you want. The person doing the manipulating, called the manipulator, seeks to be in control. They're usually very good at reading emotions, but use that skill to pick up on your weaknesses and take advantage of you. Isn't that interesting? That's really one of the reasons that Meri doesn't want to be vulnerable with Robyn. So I guess Christine was right after all, wasn't she? Also, Kody said something really interesting in his confessional about Robyn's attachment to Meri. He said, she's heartbroken that Meri's leaving, and it's a heartbreak of extreme proportions that I don't understand. So keep that in mind, because something else is going to happen later that we talk about, and Kody is laying his intentions out clear. I don't know why Meri doesn't see it, but we'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So there's some resentment and anger going on there on Meri's part towards Robyn. Like, there's just kind of a coldness there from Meri. It was slightly standoffish, and Meri really gave Robyn no assurance, no validation, didn't really comfort Robyn the way that she has in the past. And you gotta see the difference between how she was with when Robyn broke down as opposed to when Kody broke down. With Kody, she was giving him hugs, she was rubbing his arm, she was leaning into him to show that she was attentive. Her body language, her actions, and her behavior were very different, and it was very telling between the two. So Robyn better watch out because not all is as well as she thinks. And then Robyn has this car confessional after she leaves Meri by herself in the car and talks about how this is too much to handle. And of course, she's boohooing. Yes, there were actual tears this time. And I don't know, it was just, she said that it was different now. And, her infamous cold sores popped up and made an appearance again. I guess they wanted to be on the show. It's like, hey, you haven't seen us in a while. We're popping up now. So can you guys spot it? There it is on the upper left side of the lip. So that is pretty much everything dealing with Robyn. So now let's get into Kody actually getting the award for Big Crybaby for this week's episode. After Kody, because Kody basically loaded up Meri's truck in Arizona, helped her move and drove it to Parowan in Utah, moved all of her stuff from the moving truck into her house, the Lizzie Heritage Inn, and then it was time for him to go, and that's when the waterworks began. And he was really crying. He was like, this is the end of an era, the end of a dream, and Meri's just standing there next to him, and she seems baffled. Why Kody's saying that? And here's Meri's mistake. She's thinking that him being sentimental, that it's about their marriage. And I'm like, girl, that has nothing to do with you. What Kody's really upset about, and he says it, the first thing that he talks about being upset about is Christine and Janelle, not you, Meri. So she keeps being like, I don't get it. I don't understand why. Like, this is so confusing. Why is he crying now? But this didn't have to be like this. We could have worked it out. Like, girl, this has nothing to do with you. So my theory is that Kody being upset is more because he knows it's over now. Meri moving on, that was the last missing piece to hold things together for the OG wives to possibly come back together. Why do I say that? It's very obvious at this point, and Kody knows it. Christine has moved on permanently. She's already started dating someone else, and I'm sure he's hearing rumblings about the engagement, that it's over. That pipe dream is over. So where does he go from there? There was a possibility for the rest of the OG3 to remain together as a unit, right? But Kody already tried that. He said, hey, Janelle, when he sat down with her before, can you work things out with Robyn? Can you guys be sister wives again? And Janelle was basically having none of it. So she already said, I don't have a lot in common with her. Like, no, it's not happening. So what was he going to do? Like, the only way to really get the OG3 back was probably through Meri. That would have been the common ground. Because then Janelle maybe would have felt more pressure to be like, okay, well, Christine left, but all the other three are staying. Like, let's just stay together. Like, let's make it work. But now that it would only be Robyn and Janelle, I think he knows there's pretty much a fat chance in hell that those two would ever go together and be sister wives. It's over after that. So Meri, no, you're just the missing piece, the glue that can hold it together. He could care less. And here's why. He's already said in the beginning of this episode that he is so elated. He says it's a good thing that Meri's moving on. He's happy about it. Also, to recap, he said that he doesn't understand why Robyn is so upset about Meri leaving. He doesn't even understand it, meaning he can't relate to it, Meri. There's nothing to be baffled about. This has nothing to do with you, so don't try to personalize it. It has nothing to do with you, and I'm so sorry to say that, but it's true. So girl, I'm sorry. Long story short, he's not crying about you. He's mourning the other wives, that they're not coming back. That's who, yes, we already know that he loves Robyn the most, but if there was any bit of love left for any of them, that would have gone to Christine and Janelle. Meri, your love tank dried up a long time ago with Kody. So this was a very interesting episode, really telling, and it just once again kind of shows that Meri is rather clueless. I'm hoping that later on in the episode, she gets a little bit more of a backbone and really understands what's going on, but only time will tell.